Let's start with extended ACL. Extended ACL is advanced ACL because selected services will get blocked, as well as we can block host and subnet also. So ACL number is assigned between 100 to 199 in extended ACL. So implementation on router should be closest to source. So filtering is done based on source IP, destination IP, services and port number. So syntax to configure ACL on router is this one. So use this command to apply ACL on router, as well as we need to apply ACL on inbound interface and outbound interface of router. So use this command to apply it. Now we need to learn IP services also, because we have to deny or allow IP services also. So IP services are categorized into three types, that is TCP, UDP and ICMP. TCP service type having different services, that is HTTP, FTP, Telnet, SMTP, etc. And UDP service type having different services like DNS, DSCP, TFTP, SNMP. And ICMP service type having ping, traceRT services. So operator to select services are, these operators are required to select the services. Now let us discuss extended ACL with the help of practical. So we have some tasks to configure on a router. The first task is deny the users on LAN 192.168.3.0 should not access the HTTP service running on the 192.168.1.1 host address. Now focus on this diagram. We have a LAN, that is 192.168.3.0, this network. The host running on this or allocating on this network should not access the service, that is HTTP service running on this server. In this case, this network becomes source and this HTTP server becomes destination. Now let's move to second case. The deny the user, that is host 192.168.2.1 should not access the FTP service running on 192.168.1.2. So in this case we have the user 2.1 should not access FTP service running on this server. The host address of this server is 192.168.1.2. In this case, this particular source becomes source and this becomes a destination. In first case, packets are moving from this direction, and in second case packets are moving from this direction. So by considering these two cases, we need to choose that particular router where we can apply both the ACLs. Now we need to choose router 2 because these both ACLs should be configured on router, because it's a common to both routers. So we need to apply ACL on outbound interface of router 2. Let's configure first case, that is we need to block the HTTP service. Now let's discuss the HTTP service which is running on the host address 192.168.1.1. Now go to config and see whether HTTP service is running or not. So already that service is running and we need to make some change, that is video lecture on ACL by Deepak Tamhane. So we have to make some changes and close it. Now check whether all the remaining hosts are accessing this particular service or not. So before applying that particular ACL, we need to check whether this particular service is running or not. 192.168.1.1, I am accessing that particular service from the host address 192.168.3.1. see here, this one is running, that means HTTP service get accessing. Now we need to block that particular service. So how to block that particular service? Go to CLI mode of router 2, config T. Now apply access list, that is I have taken access list number 101 and deny HTTP service. So before using HTTP service we need to use service type also. So service type is TCP. Then use source address. So source address in this case is 192.168.3.0 is our source. So source address is network address. So 192.168.3.0. After that we need to use wildcard mask because it's a network address. Then we need to use host, that is source address. So source address is 192.168.1.1. On that particular source we need to block HTTP service. So we have used equal to www. So this one, by using this command we have applied the block that particular HTTP service. First case we have configured our block HTTP service running on 192.168.1.1. Now for second case we will see in next video.